Hello to all you listeners out there. Bernardo Salcido here from Connecting with Teens. I'm so excited you are here with me today as I talk to Gemma and Sophia and their Instagram account, Toddlers, Teens, and Between. If you haven't seen it, please take a look. It's such a beautiful page full of valuable information. And they are here joining us today to share some information on Defiant Behaviors. Oh my goodness, it feels like this could be a college course. Gemma, Sophia, thank you so much for joining me. Why don't you share some of your background and experience?
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gemma. I am the Toddlers and Between part of Toddlers, Teens and Between. I've been a teacher in primary school for over 8 years. I have done some courses in coaching and counselling and psychotherapy and doing a CBT course. I've always had an interest in a child as the whole rather than the educational isolated part.
Yeah, and I'm Sophia, the teens part of Toddlers, Teens and Between. I have been a middle and high school teacher here in London, UK, where we are. And I have also branched out into the mental health and wellbeing specialism as well. So I support, as the student wellbeing coordinator in my school in London, the mental health needs of our young people. You know, we've got 16 years combined, so we've got a lot of knowledge across lots of different ages, which works as a great little partnership.
Well, it sounds like the passion is there for helping others, and you found that love. If you're a parent out there and you're dealing with specific behaviors, defiant behaviors, Gemma and Sophia are definitely equipped to help us. What do we do? Right? I have 2 teens myself.
That's what we're hearing at the moment, is like, help. And I think one of the most important things before we even jump into any strategies is to recognize that, one, we are products of our parenting. And so often the behaviors that we do as parents echo what has happened for us, or you do the opposite of what your parents have done. So it's very much having some reflective time to consider, how am I as a parent and what do I want to be as a parent? I think that's really important first to say. And the second thing is really recognizing that when the parent's role is not to fix children's lives or behaviors, it's to work as a team so that young people can start to regulate and learn their behaviors, and their sort of that helps them grow up and become functioning young people in society and adults in society. We've got kind of 5 or 6, let's say 6, sort of like a strategy that you work through with your teenager. Having already thought before, what kind of parent am I and what do I want to be in terms of my parenting? And I mustn't fix this, we'll work as a team. So one of the first things is actively listening. And as parents, a lot of the time, we don't actively listen, we jump right in with a response. And so hearing their issue and without interrupting, just listening, not jumping in to have your thoughts. And the next stage would be to validate their feelings. So let's give an example. You've got a 14-year-old girl who's going out with her boyfriend who's 15, and she hasn't seen him for ages. We're in the middle of a pandemic and she wants to go and visit his house. You hear that. You listen to that request without jumping in. And then you validate those feelings by restating what you're hearing her say. So you say, do you know what? I hear you say that you want to go to your boyfriend's home, and let's talk specifically the feelings here. I understand that must be frustrating for you and you must be really bothered and annoyed. So really naming those emotions helps them hear. And then we move into the third stage, which is to really demonstrate empathy. So before you jump in with all the reasons why that shouldn't happen, explain how hard that must be for them, and also that you've heard them. So something like, I hear you. It must be really frustrating to have not seen your boyfriend for such a long time. And I can only imagine how irritating it is to hear me say again and again, no. And then you move to the fourth stage of stating boundaries. So as parents, we all have our boundary level, and especially with a pandemic, there's the next level of a boundary where the boundaries are in place for a reason. So we share why those boundaries are there. So, you know, sweetheart, you know it's a global pandemic, and you know that in the state that we live in, or the space that we live in at the moment, it's not safe to enter people's homes. And the benefit is that it keeps not just your family and his family safe, but you and him safe too. So first, let's think about the boundary and then the benefit for the teenager. And then the fifth stage is really to offer choices. So you offer a choice, you compromise and provide the teenager agency. So you give them some element of control within this to come up with different options. And then you either have that conversation immediately, or you provide some thinking space and you say, do you know what, sweetheart, let's come back together in 15 minutes. I want you to come up with 3 other options apart from going to the house, and let's agree a compromised option. So it could be they've suggested a FaceTime. That's nice. I like that. It could be that she suggested going on a bike ride. Great, you're outdoors, that's safer. And it could be a different option entirely, that they hang out in the garden. That's cool too. So you have given them an agency and kind of a strength to come up with their option. But I think really, so that's the kind of route that we go down as parents. And what is so important to know is that teenagers that I have worked with for so long now, they actually respect and crave this because it has come from teenagers. A lot of what I'm sharing now has been what they have said would help them. It's all very well telling a parent to a parent, this is how you do it. But actually, if we hear our young people and we listen to what they need, and then it's reflected back to us as parents, that's the best way. That's teamwork.
Oh my gosh, that definitely helps. And it does help to have the pattern. I'm just sitting here and I'm taking notes. I think a lot of times parents jump right to the, oh my gosh, you want to do what? I think that might not even be on one of the steps, right? That we make up our own step because it's what we've done or what we've experienced from our past and our past parenting. And that's how our parents did it to us. There was no listening. There was definitely no choice. It was, that's a horrible decision. And no, you're not going to your boyfriend's house. Period. End of story. That isn't even included in any of your 5 steps. And it definitely doesn't start with listening. So for parents out there, that's a huge first step. And it is going to take some practice to get this correct.
I also think it's important for parents to understand and appreciate that they can't fix every problem. And sometimes your teenager isn't coming to you because they want a problem fixed. I think that first stage of actively listening is so important. And if you just start with that in anything that your teenager approaches you with, it becomes the most important stage.
Well, that was excellent. Like I said, I was taking a bunch of notes. I hope you were out there too, listeners out there. Great information, because it is a mind shift and it is going to take some practice in order to help your teens with those defiant behaviors and slowing down and listening, which is probably the last thing you want to do when things are blowing up all around you, but providing that calm and caring listening environment, it really is going to go a long way. You guys make a great team, honestly.
Oh, thank you.
Your approach and how you respect each other and communicate.
Lovely to talk to you, Bernardo. Thank you for your time. Thank you for featuring us.
Thank you so much for watching. And remember, here are some ways that you can help support our efforts here at Connecting with Teens.